is knob polishing?
You're gonna make me say this. I am a neglected man.
I like to think that I look like a jack, even though my name's really Bob.
Does he have danglers or something?
Well, it's time to go do them lighthouse duties.
Sitting in the cheese at the old Walmart to cool off.
That should be the headline. Man tasered in the nuts after stealing beef.
Yeah, but you're not gonna sit in the cheese. You're not gonna sit in the cheese, and you're not gonna put ribeyes down your pants either.
House cleaning is secondary. So what is the Viagra triangle?
Possibly we aid in your digestion.
I don't know if his little hand is smaller than his little ears or what.
Aw, well, maybe he has a syndrome.
Want to go check out my RV? It's parked right around the corner. Because I'm pretty sure that I saw some moose knuckle.
No.
There is absolutely some moose knuckle going on.
My swampy friend. What the hell is a swampy friend?
I know. So they're not going to get any scraping on their shaft.
Yes, I'm gonna do a downward dog.
Okay, pretty lady. You had on those gosh darn sexy leather looking shorts.
Ladies and gentlemen, and assholes, gather around. It's time for another action-packed episode of
Trouble in Paradise.
Hi, I'm Nigel Kent.
And I'm Jasmine Starr.
And welcome to Trouble in Paradise,
where we talk about everything amazing, awkward, auspicious, and sometimes even astastic here in Southwest Florida.
And we actually have something fairly auspicious to share with all of our viewers and listeners this evening. And that is our return to one of our favorite games, Pick Your Poison. We've also put together a new segment called Okay, Karen, in which we're going to find the humor in hyperventilating millennial journalists. Plus, one of the most hilarious only in Florida stories we've seen in like forever with pictures. You're welcome. Jasmine hasn't seen all of the pictures yet.
No, I have not.
Looking forward to that reaction. This one is not for the faint of heart. I do have something to cover, though, and that's that our show is brought to you by Cycle Shack, Southwest Florida's family bicycle shop, doing full-service sales and repair of all makes, including road bikes, mountain bikes, cruisers, e-bikes, and more. Visit CycleShack.com for more information. That's CycleShack.com. Or follow Cycle Shack USA on Twitter. And now you know how to reach Cycle Shack. Jasmine, why don't you tell them how to reach us?
If you want to get a hold of us, you can reach out to us at Tipcast239 on Twitter. That's Tipcast239 on Twitter. Trouble239 on Instagram. Trouble@trouble239.com to email us and get in contact with us that way. Trouble in Paradise on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Stitcher.
Wow, that's a lot. And you did that all without even taking a breath. I am impressed. You're like the, you remember those swimming classes that people take at the Y when they're little?
When they have them blow bubbles.
Yeah, and so you're like a guppy. You're like the advanced swimmer because you can hold your breath for an entire speech. But first, don't you think it would be a good idea for us to air some grievances?
I'm always up for airing some grievances.
I mean, we got about halfway through the airing of grievances last week, and I mean, we had to move on because we were just bitching about so much stuff. We eventually just ran out of time for the segment. So we're going to start with airing of grievances. And which grievance would you like to begin with, Jasmine Starr?
I think you have a little bit more impatience when it comes to tourists and snowbirds.
Oh boy,
than I do. But I think that's kind of par for living here in this area, and being a beautiful Paradisian, place to vacation, or own a second home that we deal with tourists and snowbirds.
Tourists and snowbirds. And so I just came up with a saying about tourists and snowbirds, which is, how do you tell the difference between a tourist and a snowbird?
How do you?
A tourist is an asshole that looks like he doesn't belong here. A snowbird is an asshole that looks like he does belong here. And it's really true, because whenever you see somebody on vacation, you know that they're on vacation because what are they always doing? They're always looking around at everything like in wonder, and like it's like everything's new to them.
Right.
Which probably explains.
And they're not in a hurry.
And they're not in a hurry because they're on vacation. So the fact that they're looking at everything probably explains why they drive in the right-hand lane and go 40 miles an hour everywhere.
Well, the opposite of that is the snowbirds that either shouldn't be driving on the road, and they may drive the same way, or they're going to pretty much run you over.
Yeah, they think they own the road. So those are the guys that are worth $500 million that are driving around in a Lamborghini.
Waving the middle finger around, doing like
waving the flipping the chin wag at people.
The little that's my old impersonation of somebody flipping off.
Damn you!
Damn you! Or
they're shaking their fist at a cloud. Damn you, cloud!
Or you've got the tourists with their Birkenstocks and with their socks pulled up. That's
long socks in a Birkenstock. White socks, of course.
No, they're usually black.
Really?
Yes.
Who wears black socks for anything other than work?
Germans. You see the German tourists down on Fifth Avenue all the time. Down in Nipples.
Wearing the black socks.
Wearing their lederhosen.
Is that what it is? Oh, they don't want their legs to get cold here in paradise. What else? What is one of your grievances, Jasmine Star? With life here in paradise.
People that stick gum underneath of tables.
People that stick chewing gum underneath tables.
Yes.
Why does this bother you?
I just think, anybody who's been in the service industry before can probably, relate to whenever you're cleaning your section and how disgusting it is to come across that. But I had a even more disgusting encounter in which my youngest son decided of all places, Steak and Shake, that he was going. He was
going to stick some gum under the table?
No, I looked over and he's like just chewing away and just okay. And I knew that the only gum that I had was green. And he had blue gum in his mouth. And I was like, where did you get the gum? And he was like, pointed out that it was from underneath the table. So if you put gum under the table, you're just an asshole. And my kid is just gross and he's going to chew it. So that's like,
that's a major issue. Chewing somebody else's old gum from underneath the table.
But I mean, like, ew, thank God this happened, let's just move. Like,
there's a couple people watching on IGTV right now. Hey, guys. It looks like
we got Precious Frito.
Can you make that out? I need my binoculars to see that thing from over here.
Yeah,
it's definitely Precious Frito, but there's somebody else on there, too.
You can't.
I think they may have come and gone real quick. Thank you for the likes and the hearts. That's very kind. I do believe the live stream is working on YouTube tonight.
Yes, it is.
I don't have the chat channel up and running, so if you feel like heading over to YouTube, please do so.
You'll see more than a green screen. You'll see
that silly graphic that we have in the background.
Yep.
Is it my turn to complain about something?
It is your turn.
How about cashiers who are easily confused making change?
This happens a lot.
This happens every time.
Well,
it's part of the war on cash. Oh, did I say that? But how many times have you gone into...
we might not have to worry about that anymore if we want to really go down that hole of the war on cash.
I don't know.
I mean, they're encouraging everybody to use their debit cards now. I mean, you don't even have to,
some places are requiring people to do that. Like, how are you supposed to buy something if you don't have a bank account? That's kind of a civil libertarian sort of issue, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it just, yes. And the other part of it is then people really don't have to think when it comes to making change.
Well, that's the thing, though. What if somebody doesn't have a bank account? I mean, what if you Is that now a standard bearer for participation in commerce? Is that you have to have a checking account? I understand that it's very convenient for you to have a checking account.
Well, I understand, like from my dancing profession and everything, I have a lot of dollar bills at the end of the night, and I don't necessarily, want to put them in my account. And so what am I going to do with those now?
I'm not even going to ask what you're talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, apparently I don't know Jasmine Star at Jasmine Star 239 as well as I thought I did. But okay, so
it's a
setting
joke,
aside
ladies
the
and
war
gentlemen.
on cash, because I don't even want to go there. It makes me too upset.
But you have, when you want like to get a bill back, and you give them, it's
you want a 5, so you give them the extra single, and they just freeze up
yeah, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to calculate it. And even though we're in a day and age where it comes up on the cash register, like what the change is, like it is difficult for some of them to count change back.
Yeah.
So,
and they get that frozen look where
shit.
Why are they doing this? I don't want to embarrass myself and ask, but I can't figure out what they want.
I don't know. They want they want a quarter back? They want $1.25? Like, why are they giving me
Why
this?
did you give me 3 extra pennies? I don't understand.
Right. You want to get a gumball on the way out of the store so you can stick it under a table.
Exactly.
That's why you want that quarter.
Poor kid that comes along like a year
I know.
later.
Like at the end of their Steak and Shake meal, and they need some dessert.
Okay, public service announcement. Steak and Shake does not scrape the bottom of their tables. So if you have a 5 or 6 year old that is really, really hungry for gum, don't take him to Steak and Shake, okay?
I think it's just my kid. I think I just have some gross kids.
That's a pretty gross story. I have one more thing that I would like to air a grievance about, and that is what every place else in the country calls the DMV, but we're honest here in Florida, and we call it what it is, the tax collector. And for those of you that are listening or watching from outside Florida, here in Lee and Collier County, which is way down south, and Collier is one of the southernmost counties in the entire state.
It's the largest county south of the Mississippi.
And now, okay, south of the Mississippi. The Mississippi is a divider of east and west, right?
I'm just saying that's a fact.
It's the largest thing south of the Mississippi. No, I think that's.
I didn't say the largest thing.
The largest county.
It is.
You know how much? Okay,
I should have saved that one for True Factor Bullcrap.
If you would have said south of the Mississippi, I would have questioned your whole entire thing. Like, no way.
Okay, anyway, what about the DMV?
The DMV, particularly in South Florida, is incredibly frustrating because I went there about 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, to renew tags that were going to expire at the end of June. And I went in with my tag, and I was told that because I didn't have my insurance card handy, and before everybody jumps on my shit about not having it on my phone, I got a whole story for that too. Anyway, I couldn't produce the insurance. Now, I understand that. I don't know what she's saying over there, but I understand that not only are you not required to show your insurance card at the DMV or the tax collector, but apparently they're not even supposed to ask for it. Like, they're not a law enforcement outfit.
Really?
Yeah. They're a tax collecting outfit. So it's kind of like church and state. So they sent me away. And that was at the Green Tree tax collector down there on Immokalee Road in Naples, which is the one I always go to because they're lickety split and they get you in, they get you out. It's great.
They're quick there.
And they're not jerks, right? In fact, most of the DMVs down here are pretty cool. But anyway, so I go back after a couple days. I have my insurance card printed out. I have for both cars that I'm renewing. And I walk up to the front entrance of the tax collector in Collier County. And now, 2 days later, plastered all over the windows are signs that say, "Serving Collier County residents only." And, of course, I live in Lee County. So I drove all the way down there because of their nice attitudes and the good people at that particular tax collector, only to get these rude signs that say,
We
"Get
are
out of
very
here."
nice in
Yeah,
Collier County.
guess not. So I call my son, who was meeting me there, and I say, "We can't do it in here. We have to go up to Lee County now." Go up to Lee County. I get there, and they have this big white tent set up outside the Lee County tax collector. And I'm like, man, I don't know what this is, some kind of COVID shit. Like, I don't know what they're doing. So I get in line, and the lady says, when's your appointment? I said, I don't have an appointment, man. I thought this was the tax collector. Does anybody make an appointment to get their taxes collected? And she says, well, we'll see if we can squeeze you in. I'm like, what? I'm like, thank you. That's great. And then she's like, well, who's he? I'm like, well, that's my son. Well, he needs an appointment too. I'm like, we're actually together. We're just together, man. Like, we're here together. Is that cool? Well, he's going to have to be ticketed separately. I'm like, ticketed? And I guess the ticket is like your placeholder in line or whatever. Anyway, the place isn't even busy. We get in there. My ass is just hitting the chair.
Number 69.
Exactly.
Serving number 69.
Yes, of course it has to be 69. So then it comes up on the thing, and boom, we're up. So I go up to the guy, I say, and I'm expecting all kinds of hassle, and it's just this nice, pleasant young man. I put down my paperwork, my 2 registrations, and I say, I need to renew my tags. He says, 1 year or 2? I say, let's do the 2 years. I don't like coming here. He chuckles. He asks me for my credit card. He slides my stickers over to me and lets me go. And I'm like, what about my ID? He's like, oh, that's all right. I'm like, what about my proof of insurance? He's like, nah, that's okay. We don't need it. I'm like, whoa, man.
When did my eldest son start working at the DMV? I don't care. Just take it and go.
So the inconsistency. So I'm like, I told him the story about what happened at Collier. He's like, man, yeah, I don't know. We're not even supposed to do that. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. This is my 3rd trip.
Well, I'm always so paranoid whenever I go there because, it's like if you don't have like all your documents, and usually it's not like... This sounded like you're in and out and everything, but sometimes you go and you're waiting and,
That one just really, really made me scratch my brain, which did not feel good.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I found the guy. Like, I'm like, dude, I hope you work here forever because I will bring you beer. I'll do whatever you need me to do because I like you, man. It was the best tax collecting DMV experience I've ever had. Highly recommended. Lee County Tax Collector on Route 41, just south of Old 41. Wonderful place.
And for those of us like myself that live in Collier, I guess we're screwed.
Yeah, but the Lee County Tax Collector doesn't say you can't come here if you're from Collier County. I mean,
well, where else you can't come.
Where?
Without, having issues. Is the ice cream shop around the corner.
Boy. Yeah, well, are we going to call them out?
What's the name of that place?
Stone Mountain Creamery, Coconut Point in Estero, Florida.
Okay, so and this is my pet peeve, okay?
We're going to tag those guys on Twitter. You know that, right?
All right, so... We stopped to go and get some ice cream. Yep. And
this was about 2 weeks ago, maybe?
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago.
It's right before our last episode.
And, you can go into any restaurant and get...
Just walk right in.
You're eating. You're going to be consuming something. And we did not even get to step 1 foot into the door before somebody that worked there threw their hand up. And they're like, you cannot come in here without their mask.
It was a kid.
Now.
He was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm like, what? I looked behind me. I'm like, what's going on, man?
Right. Are we.
It's like, you have to have a mask. I'm like, man, we just want to get some ice cream. And then on our way.
How in the hell are you supposed to eat ice cream with a fucking mask? Sorry for me raising my voice here, but come on.
Okay.
Like,
for the uninitiated, Jasmine raises her voice frequently.
But no, this is like one of those things where it's like we were at Sweet Melissa's And we didn't
A couple of nights before.
Like a couple nights before that, we didn't have to worry about it. I mean, by the time you pay, like if you've everybody's gone to an ice cream shop, it starts to drip. You have to lick
you gotta
it.
eat it quick. Yeah, like
you
you're
have
supposed
to lick
take
it.
your
We
mask
live
off.
in freaking Florida. You have to lick your ice cream before you pay.
Take my mask off and use it as the napkin.
You know, like, you could just put it down and that way all the drippage is like dripping on the inside of your mask or something. But like of all places that you're going to be like, whoa, you can't come in here.
I know.
Like,
whoa. We got too many customers in here. I think the kid
nobody
was
was in there.
No, there was one person in there, and I think they were just trying to get out of working. The guy was probably like, "Hey, man, watch this.
Watch this, man.
I'm going to do this for the whole shift.
Going to flex my muscles here, and they can come in here without a mask." But
we need like a full-on gas mask. Like I need to keep one in my car.
Somebody had one last night at work.
Seriously?
Yes, I loved it.
In the ER?
One of the security guards came walking through with the gas mask. I was like, I want to go in a room like that.
Like a legit, and he wasn't joking around.
No, he wasn't. But I was like, bravo, man. If you want to make a point, you like walk around like full on.
Looking like Darth Vader.
I loved it. I was like, he looked like he should be flying like one of the, oh my gosh, I'm having a total brain fart right now.
A TIE fighter.
The TIE fighter. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. He was walking pretty fast, so he could pretty good in that thing. Apparently, it had some good, better than we could with ours on, and we're like, So.
Well,
anyway.
I'm not going to get into mask science. I'm pretty sure that anybody that follows this podcast knows where we stand on it, but
or follows us on Twitter.
Oh yeah, if you want to get into the controversy. But how about we move on to one of our favorite games? Pick your poison.
Pick your poison.
And we're going to do this as quickly as we can.
Yes.
We're going to try to do a rapid fire shotgun style version of the game.
Sounds good to me.
And as always in Pick Your Poison, it is ladies first. I'm all ears.
Really?
Yes. Just like corn.
Do we have a little background music?
Oh, we sure do. Hang on. I forgot
because
about
I
the
really
background.
dig this background music.
Okay. Pick Your Poison background music coming up.
And
Okay.
Nigel.
Yes,
Pick your
Jasmine.
poison. Would you rather live the rest of your life with silent but uncontrollable gas
Oh, God.
or loud, uncontrollable sneezing?
Loud, uncontrollable sneezing or silent but deadly gas.
Yeah.
I think I'll take the silent but uncontrollable gas. It's not painful gas, right? It's just silent but uncontrollable.
It's just painful for everybody else around you.
I would just stay in groups.
Like crop dusting.
Yeah, I would just stay in groups of 3 or 4 or 5 or more to make sure that nobody ever knew that it was me. And then that way
I bet you would have the best nickname by the end of the day.
No, they wouldn't know it was me because I would always be in a group. If you're Sneezy McSneezy, they know it's you because they can see you doing it. Plus, you're spreading that Rona.
This is true.
All right. Jasmine Star.
Yes.
Would you rather live in a utopia or perfect world as a normal person or in a dystopia or terrible world as the supreme ruler?
Utopia.
Okay. You'd rather not preside over a whole bunch of destruction?
No.
It makes sense. I agree with you on that one.
You know me well enough to know I just no.
Okay.
I had unicorn socks on this morning. How did you think I was going to answer that
What
question?
makes you think that unicorns are utopian?
Somebody prove to me they're not.
Hey, real quick, I'd like to welcome Hash Brown back to the studio. She normally is locked up during the recording and streaming of the show, but tonight she's behaving herself extra well. And she may be appearing, I think she's visible on the IGTV
She's a little on
stream.
IGTV.
Yep.
All right, so Nigel, would you rather work for a boss you hate but make good money, or work for a boss that you love but make minimum wage?
Oh, brother. I can tell you which one is less stressful because I've worked for bosses that I liked a lot and didn't make very much. I guess it depends on the nature of the work, right? Because I've also made extremely good money working for fucking assholes. Pardon my French, everybody. 4 years of French class. If I can say
Oui.
fucking assholes. Yeah.
Je me vais ton chien.
Here's the thing. To me, the disparity between minimum wage and really good money, or the distance between those two factors, is so great that I probably would take the shitty boss. Because I can always quit and find somebody who's equally shitty who will pay me minimum wage. That's my take on that. Okay, Jasmine Star.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Would you rather write a serious novel that will be widely considered the most important book in the past 200 years, but you in the book will only be appreciated after your death? Or, within a few months, become the most famous erotica writer of modern times?
Oh. This is a good one. I'm going with erotica writer.
So you want the quick
Listen to
fame.
this music. Of course I'm going to be the erotica writer.
So this is sound like porno music to you.
Okay. Nigel. Would you rather have a unibrow or a full back of hair?
Unibrow, no questions asked. Because it's easier to shave a unibrow than a full back of hair. Plus, I kind of have a unibrow, so I know how to deal with it. A full back of hair I've never had, and so I have no idea. No idea how to cope. What about you? Am I allowed to come back with a what about you on this?
No. You just move on to your next one.
All right. Would you rather your shirts be always 2 sizes too big or 1 size too small?
2 sizes too big.
Yeah, I concur, because you can always kind of...
Yeah, especially for women, you can tie them and stuff like that. And but I am like I'm an advocate for women buying the right size pants. Because you see some women trying to squeeze in and they got that muffin top going on and it's like spilling out over and they think they look so good. This kind of falls right in line with that.
So is it a different answer for pants, or is it the same?
No, man, you wear the right pant. Like, go up a size. Go up a size. Be comfortable. We can always make this a little bit more fashionable.
What if the predominant characteristic of American women was being skinny instead of being fat? Then would your answer be any different?
Even at my skinniest, I would rather have a shirt that was a little bit bigger than a shirt that was too small.
Because then it's a navel shirt.
Yeah, I'm just too I'm honest. Just me. You know me. I'm self-conscious. Of course, I'm going to say bigger.
Okay. All right. What do you got for me?
Would you rather lick your best friend's foot or let a stranger lick your foot?
Would I rather lick my best friend's foot or let a stranger lick my foot?
Yes.
I would let a stranger lick my foot. I don't lick people's feet. Maybe I have licked somebody's foot, but that's been on an extremely rare occasion. And by rare, I'm not talking about steak. Yeah, so I think a stranger gets to lick my foot. We're talking about like a 45-minute licking session or just one quick lick?
I didn't even think about the length of time. It was just the concept.
I think in either case, because...
You're just going with the stranger.
Yeah,
Let the stranger
gets
lick your
to lick
foot.
my foot. I can always wash my foot if it's gross. Okay, Jasmine Star. Would you rather have 1 nipple or 2 belly buttons?
2 belly buttons.
I agree. Would you like to share your reasoning as to why?
Because I love my boobs. They're like one of my favorite things about
You could
me.
still have your great boobs. You would just only one of them would have a nipple.
Yeah, no, I paid for a symmetry, and that's what I expect to get. So, like, I've got a great plastic surgeon. If anybody wants to ever know who they are, you can email us at trouble239.com, and
Trouble239.
I'll fill you in on that.
Okay.
And give me a referral bonus. That would be nice right now. Thank you.
So you get a little commission.
Yep.
Okay. What else?
Would you rather eat? Oh my God, I'm 9 years old. Would you rather eat through your butt or poop through your mouth?
Eat through my butt, absolutely. Pooping through your mouth is the same thing as like Ralphing, which is one of the worst things that I think a person can.
Think about.
I mean, yes, I know you don't have anything to chew it
your
with.
butt, though.
You don't have anything to pull the food in. You don't have anything to chew it with. You can't taste it. But they do administer certain sorts of nutritional therapies and even medical pharmaceutical therapies anally through the rectum.
Thank you for saying that to a nurse of 17 years.
There's even a probiotic therapy where they administer other people's poop into your rectum in order to fix broken gut issues.
Yeah.
I listened to a podcast that told me about that, and my first thought was, bleh, but I got through it okay.
Well, you can also give yourself a wine enema.
A wine enema?
Yeah.
It's the stuff Jasmine knows.
No, I learned this.
Why would you do that? Because the
it's
rectum absorbs
it's a mucous membrane, so the alcohol goes like right into your
blood.
And it's like insta drunk, but at the same time, like my idea of a good time would not be, well, I mean, and if anybody that knows me, I'm sober, and I wouldn't have done this in my non-sober days, because my idea of a good time then would not have been to administer an enema and be drunk on the toilet, like passing
wine poop.
Yeah.
Well, I had an emergency nurse, an ER nurse friend that was a follower of my band back in Cleveland. And she was really cool. She'd been a nurse for like 35 years, and she was still working in the emergency department at the most difficult urban hospital in Cleveland, which is called Metro Health. It's the hospital that never makes money, and it's one where all the gunshot wounds go and stuff. And she told me that when they had to do emergency surgeries and things like that, they would have extremely drunk physicians arrive at the hospital and sober up like that using IV therapy and saline therapy and stuff like that. It would take them about 15, 20 minutes. They would piss 3 or 4 times and they'd be sober as could be with no hangover, which is insane to think about. She said that was a fairly common thing with the physicians that worked at Metro Health. Sorry, Metro Health, not a sponsor. Okay, moving on. Would you this one? Moving on quickly from that one.
Yes.
All right. So I really like this one a whole lot, and that is: would you rather use? And this is assuming that you have to use it yourself, but would you rather use a push lawnmower with a bar that is about as tall as you can reach, or a bar that is just below your knees? It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah. Who the hell? I would use the lawnmower that is at my knee level.
Really?
Yeah.
Justify that.
All right. Because it's all about the booty and getting those squats in. And so I could like lunge it out and also get a little booty work in. And, because it's just, I'm not going to get a good muscular workout. Like if I'm going to like have to work for it.
You could work out your calves if you were standing on your tippy toes.
No, my personal trainer told me I'm not allowed to work out my calves. They bulk up too quick. So I'm going to go with below the knees.
Okay. I mean, if I had a lawnmower where the bar was way too tall, I would just get a running start and push it as far as I could and then hang on it for a second, and then run back and start again and do it all over.
I would just like to have a video of that. Nigel, would you rather get a tattoo that means a lot to you by a really bad tattoo artist, or get a tattoo of a self-portrait on your back by the best tattoo artist in the world?
All right, time out. Run that by me one more time.
Would you rather get a tattoo that means a lot to you by like the worst tattoo artist ever, or a self-portrait of yourself on your back by the best tattoo artist in the world?
Oh, jeez. This is great. What a quandary. Nobody wants a picture of themselves on themselves, right? Like, that's got to be the biggest sociopathic, like...
Well, I just like You're So Vain is like in my head right now. Like that song, like if that's what you...
Okay, can I add a quick caveat to that?
Go ahead.
Can the picture of myself be when I was 21? Can it?
It doesn't. It just... Sure.
Okay, in that case, I might accept it because my 21-year-old self looks exactly like my son. And then I could be like, hey, man, look, it's Jake. I could turn around. Hey, look what I got. I got a picture of you. And he would immediately disown me and everything. But at least then it would be a good enough reason.
Okay.
I think I would take the tattoo. Do I get to pick the location of the really crummy tattoo?
You're just quick fire.
I take the crummy tattoo.
You're like analyzing this way too
All right.
much.
Jasmine Star, would you rather not be able to open any closed doors or not be able to close any open doors? How about that?
Repeat that question?
Would you rather not be able to open any closed doors or not be able to close any open doors?
Not be able to close any open doors.
Why?
Because that way I can move about freely. I wouldn't be stuck in a room.
Yeah, but what if you needed privacy?
I'd have to get over it.
Okay.
Nigel,
Okay. Yes, Jasmine.
would you rather eat your hair trimmings after every haircut or your nail clippings each
This
time
is
you
so
cut your nails?
gross. Why are you going with all this gross out stuff? This is so nasty. So the
Because-
question is, would I rather eat my hair trimmings after every haircut or eat my nail trimmings after every nail trimming? Then I have to pick one or the other?
Yeah.
Do I get to mix it with something?
Oh my gosh, just answer the
Okay,
question.
have you ever eaten hair on purpose?
Ye-
Like a full serving of it, like a bowl of it? How do you chew it?
No, okay.
I'm going with the nail clippings.
Okay.
And you know why? Because I used to have...
You used to bite your nails and eat them.
No, I didn't used to eat it. I did used to bite the crap out of my nails. But I used to have a really good dog named Morpheus who loved my nail trimmings. And he would eat the crap out of them.
So you're thinking that they're
be-
probably not that bad.
It would be a tribute to him. He would eat my toenail clippings too.
Well, this
And
is
he would
that
get
would be
excited about it, and he
included.
would sit like it was a treat coming to him. He knew the sound of the...
This is perhaps the most disgusting, like where you just went down that hole. You went down that hole that I was not expecting.
All right, last one.
Oh,
Oh, you want to get to the end of the
yeah.
list? All right, Jasmine Star is extending. Pick your poison.
Yeah.
But it is my turn. Jasmine Star, would you rather all electrical devices mysteriously stop working forever? Or the governments of the world are only run by people going through puberty forever?
Well, I think we're already in that second part. I mean, aren't we?
They're having a really bad period. Something's going on. I don't know about the puberty, but...
No, I think that's about the intelligence level of where we're at. Oh man, you know what that would include?
What?
My favorite toy.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with the government.
You're going to go with the government being run by children going through puberty
Yes,
so that you can continue to use your PS4. Got it.
absolutely.
Okay, Jasmine. You're up.
I cry every time I win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you rather bark like a dog when you feel threatened or blow up like a pufferfish?
That's good. Oh, man. These are really good. So would I rather blow up like a pufferfish or bark like a dog?
When you feel threatened. Can you just imagine me walking around and all of a sudden just like...
I mean, who's going to mess with me, though? Who's going to mess with me if I blow up like a pufferfish? I'm going to take the pufferfish.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Jasmine Star. Would you rather live in a cave or live in a treehouse?
Ooh.
Remember, this is a Southwest Florida-based podcast. I think that means that it has to be here in Southwest Florida.
I am going to go with cave.
Why?
Well, because I think I could cope better with what's in the caves than what is...
Rodents and mushrooms?
Yeah. I could cope with that better. Than... I would be eaten alive in Southwest Florida if I lived in a tree house.
You'd be eaten alive either way, because caves have mosquitoes and ants and slugs and all kinds of spiders and creepy bats and all kinds of crap like that.
All right, Naked and Afraid. I will take on either of those challenges.
All right.
Put me either place.
Okay, final round. Bring it on.
Would you rather buy all of your underwear used or buy all of your toothbrushes used?
Oh, brother. This is awful. It's getting worse and worse. Like every
It's
round
all
is just
about
getting
vanity,
progressively
honestly.
worse.
If you go back, I picked questions to challenge your vanity, how vain you are here.
I mean, you didn't say that I had to buy the underwear dirty. So I'm going to assume for a second that the underwear and toothbrushes are both clean when I buy them, even though they're used.
They're used.
Now, what you didn't say is what they may have been used for. So I'm going with the underwear. Okay. Would you rather never be able to eat meat or never be able to eat vegetables, Jasmine Star?
Never be able to eat meat.
What?
Yeah.
What about that succulent fall off the bone ribs with the barbecue sauce with the sweet baby rays?
Yeah.
You can't put that on a green bean.
I know.
You can't put that on an orange.
I'd be skinny.
Does meat include fish? Because I might be willing to accept it if you could still eat fish.
Here's my final one for you.
Wait, you went first. I ran out of questions.
Would you rather have 3 nipples or 11 toes?
This is like my... Yeah.
This is one that...
11 toes, for sure. Because you can wear shoes most of the time, right? And by the time you get to a situation where you're counting nipples, your toes probably don't matter at that point, right? Could I feed more babies if I had 3 nipples? Assuming I was an able-bodied female. Sorry if I offended any gender weirdos with that. Oh boy, there goes all the gender weirdos from our... We're screwed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Pick Your Poison. We hope you enjoyed that.
That was kind of gross tonight. I like...
When you do Pick Your Poison, it's always yuck. And that brings us to our next segment, which is only in Florida. And I have one particular story that I'm really excited to share with you.
Is this the one that you were like, don't look at anything that's related to this?
Yes, but we're gonna start with the softball stuff first.
Okay. And then you're gonna hit me with the hardcore?
Then I'm gonna hit you with the one that I think you're gonna find the most funny.
Okay.
What if somebody came up to you and said, Jasmine, I want you to smuggle 42 pounds of marijuana through an international airport. How much would you charge for that service?
How much would I charge?
Yeah.
For 42 pounds? Mm-hmm. Through an international airport?
Yeah. Through a highly secured, TSA equipped.
What's the going rate for a pound?
I don't know. A pound of weed? You mean like retail?
Yeah.
A lot. That's a lot of weed. A pound is quite a bit.
Estimate.
I mean, how many ounces are there in a pound?
Because I'm going to go with the inflation because, it's...
Okay. Maybe we should call your oldest son and ask him, or my oldest son, and ask him
what the going rate is.
They might be a little more closer to that situation.
I don't know how much I would charge, but I'm guessing that the person that you are going to discuss did it for a discount.
He did. Well, I don't know what he charged for it, but he paid the ultimate price. 20-year-old Tredeus Shine, that's this fella here that you see on the screen behind us, was charged with possession with intent after he was found with 42 pounds of marijuana inside 2 suitcases while connecting at Nashville International Airport on the way to Tampa. And yes, this guy is a Florida man. On July 9th, Officer such and such was collaborating with K-9 units and Nashville Airport detectives at the Nashville International Airport. K-9 unit, whose name was Havoc, was tasked with sniff searches on 3 separate suitcases from Los Angeles International Airport, and this guy got busted. Nearly 42 pounds of vacuum-sealed, highly compressed marijuana inside the luggage. The narcotics...
Good for him,
These
man.
aren't narcotics, but it says the narcotics were reportedly concealed through padding of brand new clothing. The packaging and method of concealment were consistent with intentions of redistribution. Tredeus Shine was arrested and charged with possession of marijuana with intent. His bond was set at $75,000.
I wonder if have you ever used those little vacuum bags? You can get them at Walmart.
Yeah.
They suck the air out and they compress everything.
Yeah, to seal up your deer after you shoot it and dismember it, so on.
No, you're thinking of Food Saver.
Yeah, Food Saver.
Well, they make these space bags. They're called space bags and everything. And I would guess that's probably...
you mean like for putting stuff in your closet?
Yeah, and it sucks. Like, I've used those for packing, and they're great.
That's fine if you're moving, but here's the thing. Like, if you're going to put something like that in a vacuum suck bag...
Yeah, it's going to stay really fresh, first of all, if he could have accomplished his task.
Why does anybody need to keep something for that long?
No, I'm talking about the weed.
Okay. So
first of all,
you know how this guy did it.
First of all, I think he was very smart when he was thinking about the freshness of the product. So
you think he packed it? Tredeus Shine packed the product himself, or somebody did it for him?
Well, they were streamlining the whole process. I mean, if 42 pounds,
it's getting better and better. It's getting more and more efficient.
Okay, how much do you charge for extra luggage? Like when you put it up on the rack?
True. Yeah, well, it's a 50-pound cutoff, right? Or a 48-pound cutoff or something like that.
All right, so he's kind of a dumbass because he could have just put it in one suitcase.
That's true. Unless he was maybe trying to carry them both on. It doesn't say that.
That's carry on, yeah. But you know what the article doesn't say?
What?
The other 4 pounds.
The other 4 pounds of what?
Yeah. He got away with...
Oh, you mean he could have packed four more pounds of weed? Yeah. He didn't. Well, Tradeus, that apparently was your biggest mistake of the day,
Yeah.
other than trying to smuggle 42 pounds of weed through the airport. Jasmine has just busted you for not doing it as efficiently as you could have.
Well,
Jasmine's good at math. I'm not. So that's the difference there. If you were going to do everything you could to protect your neighborhood from coronavirus, what are some things that you would do to protect your whole neighborhood?
to protect my whole neighborhood.
Yeah, what would you do to protect your whole neighborhood from coronavirus, Jasmine Star?
Education.
Okay, how would you educate your people in your neighborhood?
Probably not like this picture that I'm viewing that looks like a truck of some sort.
It looks like a sort of an ATV golf cart type of thing here.
Yeah, but he's like
tractor behind it.
shooting stuff out of the side of it.
What do you think he's shooting? I'm just interested what your guess is on that.
Well, considering the question that you asked me, I would hope that he's not following Trump's Lysol. What am I maybe on the right track when I say Lysol? What's he shooting off there?
Well, I'm pretty sure that Trump didn't actually say injecting Lysol.
I know he did not say that. I'm just
Now, did you say it was Wakula or Wachula?
Wachula.
Okay, I haven't been in Florida as long as the imitable Jasmine Star. So I will just say that Wachula, Florida, is the place where a man sprays hydrogen peroxide from his truck to cleanse his town from COVID-19. The city of Wachula gave the go-ahead for a resident to spray the city streets with a chemical most of us have in our medicine cabinet, hydrogen peroxide, otherwise known as, H2O2, I believe. David Terrell, who owns ADAB, Agricultural Spraying Company.
Okay, I was like, how is he doing that? Because he's definitely misting.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So he has the ability to do agricultural spraying. Brought the idea to do Hardy County City. And now I'm going to do my impression of him, even though I've never met him. I think every city in the damn United States needs to be doing it. No questions asked, he told Fox 13 News. I was listening to the different doctors. They were talking about how the virus can stay airborne, and I'm like, dang, so can I.
Dang.
When the COVID-19 pandemic struck, he saw an opportunity to use his sprayers to disinfect his hometown. Even if the chemical doesn't come in contact with an airborne virus particle, he believes it would still be beneficial when it lands on the ground. But I'm pretty sure H2O2 like immediately evaporates, doesn't it? Within seconds.
I don't think it quite as quickly as alcohol does.
Yeah, it lasts a little bit longer.
But he's got some really clean streets, I guess. But what are
I wonder
people just are losing it?
Yeah. So it says, "What goes up comes down. You didn't use up your bullet. Your bullet's still going to react when it hits the booger down on the floor."
What?
What goes up comes down. You didn't use up your bullet. Your bullet still is going to react when it hits the booger down on the floor. That's what this gentleman said. And then this really gifted journalist cuts away to, over-the-counter hydrogen peroxide is usually sold at 3% concentration. Terrell's solution is a slightly stronger 5%. A level he says is perfectly safe. He sprays the whole town. Even Advent Health, where he sprays the hospital entrance and parking lot. City manager Terry Ashley said that Wachula City Commission did not reach out to any scientists or doctors before approving the spraying. I mean, dude probably runs the city council. Like, it's probably how big is Wachula?
I just want to say this is one of those things where you just like when bless his heart, like he really
believes it.
He believes that
Well,
he
and
means
maybe
well.
he's
and-
right. Like, who am I to judge? Like, I'm no agricultural scientist. This is a
Oh.
good test, a good product. We are the perfect site to try and experiment with this.
The perfect site.
That's what he said, yes.
Oh.
Fox 13 reached out to Professor Ira Richards at the University of South Florida's College of Public Health, who said there is too little research on aerosolized hydrogen peroxide to know if it would be effective against COVID-19. There is just too much that we don't know to make an assessment. We don't know about efficacy against a virus, says Richards. How appropriate is it that I did his accent like that, and his last name is Richards? However, there goes the last two people from our audience. They were both Richardses.
It's okay. I bought my dog a rainbow collar today. We're all good.
Okay, good. That's karmatic makeup. Good. David Terrell is funding all the spraying himself. He says the cost is worth it. It's my city. I was born here.
You're shitty.
If there's benefit in it, I want to be the first one to get benefit out of it, he insisted. The CDC lists hydrogen peroxide as an effective disinfectant on surfaces. Nothing is listed pertaining to large-scale spraying or fogging. So there you go. Good for Ashley and David Terrell and all these people. I may or may not have mixed up some of my characterizations with my accents, but I'm not Mel Blanc, so it is what it is. And then finally, I have one more story to show you, Jasmine Star.
Okay.
I can't show you the picture yet because it's gonna ruin it.
It's going to ruin it. Oh, gosh.
All right, where is it? You gotta find it.
You make
Okay.
me nervous whenever you start, like,
Okay.
things that are going to make me...
All right. So, for the uninitiated and everybody that's not in Florida, Marathon is one of the islands in the Florida Keys, right?
Right.
Marathon. And this is reported to us by CBS Miami, an upstanding institution of journalistic integrity. A 62-year-old Marathon man required stitches to his head Thursday after an iguana ran in front of his bicycle and caused him to crash. There were no reported life-threatening injuries, except maybe to the iguana. The collision took place on a bike path at Crane Point Hammock, and anybody that's ever ridden their bikes on the Keys knows that there's really only one way to go, and that's up and down one. The victim said that he was riding along the bicycle path when an iguana darted out in front of him and became lodged in between the front tire and front wheel fork of the bicycle.
Sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm just visualizing.
This part is particularly
happening.
well written, yeah. He was riding along the bicycle path when an iguana darted out in front of him and became lodged in between the front tire and the front wheel fork of the bicycle, causing the front tire to lock, which threw the rider over the handlebars and onto the asphalt.
Was he wearing his Cali protective helmet that you can get at Cycle Shack?
I don't know. I certainly hope so. If he had stitches on his head, he may not have actually been wearing a helmet, which is...
And shame
on
what I
the
was
journalist
thinking.
for not mentioning whether he was wearing a helmet or not. But the victim, who suffered scrapes and cuts to his head, arms, and leg, was taken to Fisherman's Hospital in stable condition. Okay. Are you ready for the punchline of the article? Written by them, not me.
Okay.
The condition of the iguana did not appear nearly as stable.
Oh, no.
I mean, that's what happens.
Oh.
That's a big iguana.
Oh, gross.
And he's stuck in the front fork of this
Ew.
bike. Like, he literally, his wheel picked up the iguana and rotated it all the way around.
I don't want to see this anymore.
Okay, I'll take it. Don't look at it. I'll take it off the screen in a second. Rotated the iguana all the way around at however many RPMs and jammed the iguana into his brakes.
The story was funny until I saw the picture. That's disgusting.
It's terrible, and I'm sorry, but
For anybody that's listening,
the
okay,
mechanical engineer in me is just laughing my ass off right now.
this is the most like horrifying, like looking like Ugh, man, that hit my stomach.
And I feel bad for the iguana. Okay, you feel sick to your stomach after laying all those gross pick your poisons on me?
I do, because I didn't have a visual picture in front of me of like an iguana that's
all right. Well, we'll go off of it.
it's all limp and dead.
Well, it
And-
probably was dead on impact. I mean, I feel bad for it. I really do. I feel bad for the iguana and the guy. All right, IGTV just signed off at 1 hour on the nose. Thank you for everybody on IGTV that was hanging out with us tonight. On YouTube, we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
And on the podcast, of course, anybody listening on the podcast, we're going to keep going because we have one more important segment. And it's a new one. And we like to call it, Okay, Karen.
Okay, Karen.
So, what does Karen have to say today?
Although you may not realize it, there are a lot of common phrases in the English language that could actually have sexist connotations or discriminatory origins. Here are some common English phrases that could have sexist roots.
Okay.
So,
I'm about to be educated by Karen on what's sexist.
yes.
All right. Is this new to you as well, or?
Well, I mean, after reading through some of these, I'm just kind of like, exactly what the segment is. Okay, Karen.
Okay, Karen.
Okay, Karen.
All right. What do you got for us?
Wearing the pants in the relationship could date back to the idea that men are meant to be more a dominant partner.
So the phrase is wearing the pants in the relationship.
Yeah. Does that bother you? Like if...
I mean, that's a phrase I've known basically my whole life.
Right. But I mean, like, would you take offense to that?
I mean, if you have like a demure husband who pretty much takes whatever, like you can tell who the boss is, then you say she's wearing the pants in the relationship.
Yeah, she wears the pants in that relationship.
Now, how is that sexist? How does Karen figure that one is sexist?
Well, because it dates back to like the 1900s, whenever like
anything that is
men,
old is bad. Ladies and
exactly.
gentlemen.
That's
Anything that is old
the point
is
that they were
bad.
trying to make. You know, that at the time where it wasn't right for women didn't wear pants. Women were not allowed to wear pants. So saying
They weren't allowed to, or they just didn't.
well, I mean, it wasn't
Or
customary.
maybe
It
they
was frowned
didn't.
upon.
Is it possible that they didn't want to also?
They were, it says during this time period, women in the U.S. traditionally didn't wear pants out in public, but longer gowns or skirts that restricted their movement.
I wonder if they wore pants in private.
So the phrase wearing the pants seems to enforce the unhealthy idea that it's manly or masculine to be in a dominant or powerful position. It also implies there's a power structure in relationships, even though a healthy modern relationship is typically one where both parties have an equal say.
All right, say it with me.
Okay, Karen. Oh, I like this one. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Implies a person's goal should be marriage.
So my issue with always a bridesmaid, never a bride,
Right.
is who do you hear saying that phrase the most? Like, what kind of person do you typically associate that euphemism with?
It's like
Who
that.
says it?
It's like that old maid, like, you know, that old maid kind of thing. Like, oh, always a bridesmaid, never a bride, you know, and you would
So it's
probably
like the grandma who's like making an observation about her one granddaughter.
right. Or people that believe that you can't be in a relationship like if you're in a relationship, like you have to get married. Like coexisting in the same house would be naughty.
Yeah, I don't know if it really implies that though. Like, I always think that it's like this statement of.
Do you want to know the most offensive thing about this for me?
Okay.
Is that I never got to be a bridesmaid. True fact about Jasmine Star.
True fact or bull crap? Here we go. True fact.
Yeah, here is like, you know, truth. I've never been a bridesmaid. I've always been a bride.
So what you're bothered by with this is that they weren't saying it about you.
No, I was like the opposite. And like, you know, people are like, you're not going to get married again. You're like not going to change your name again, right? Are you? You're like you're done with that. And I'm just like, fuck off. Whatever.
The phrase itself, though, is always. Have you ever heard a man?
Get more like I would be more offended by the opposite of that. But
and have you ever heard a man say "always a bridesmaid, never a bride," or is that something that typically only women say?
No, but I mean, like, what are you gonna say? Like, always a groomsman, never a groom.
Okay, so is this really sexist or not?
I don't think so.
Okay, so
I think it's you know, the notion that someone who isn't married or somehow is somehow short of their potential is a dated concept by modern standards. Marriage isn't for everyone, and being married isn't a sign that someone is successful in life or in love.
Actually, it is. And the ability to have a family is a great sign that somebody has achieved a great deal of success. And I don't think that's sexist at all. So there's only one thing I can say to that. Okay, Karen.
Okay, Karen.
All right, what's next?
Telling someone to grow a pair implies a weakness that it's tied to gender.
Grow a pair.
Grow a pair.
Bro, grow a pair. Get in there and do what you got to do. Grow a pair.
If I was like really upset with you and I'm like, Nigel, grow a pair. Grow a set.
I think you've told me that before, actually.
Have I?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. So, why is that sexist?
Were you offended, though, whenever I said grow a pair?
No. I mean, if I was offended, it wasn't because I thought you were attacking masculinity or maleness. It's because I was like, man, she thinks I'm a wimp. And I still don't understand the sexism there.
When you say this phrase to someone, you're telling them to act strong or courageous in some manner. The phrase equates to the ability to take action or toughen up with having a pair of testicles. And I like how they also word this, male sex organs. For those of you that didn't already know.
Wait a minute, though.
Grow a pair implies that simply having these specific organs makes someone more competent, and not having them makes them less competent.
I have known plenty of utterly incompetent men that I believe had testicles.
Well, what if you only had one nut? Like, does that mean you're like less intelligent?
So that
like you don't have a set. Like, grow a pair. Sorry.
There's some famous cyclists that only have one nut.
Well, and there's people that don't have any nuts.
And does that make them any less male or any less powerful in certain situations? So I'm going to call bullshit on this one.
I like to say that powerful again. That was kind of like hot when you're like, does that make him any more powerful?
Powerful? But how do the Italian courts feel about this particular insult?
In 2012, the highest court in Italy ruled that by saying an Italian man has no balls is punishable by a fine. Maurizio Fumo, the judge that presided over the case in court, said that the phrase had injurious quality, noting that phrase refers not only to the target's lack of virility, but also to his weakness in character, lack of determination, competence, and coherence, virtues that, rightly or wrongly, are still identified as pertaining to the male gender.
So it is literally illegal to say that somebody has no balls in Italy.
If you said gross it in Italy, then you could be fined.
That is remarkable because when I think about like New York Italians, and like God bless Darren Aquino, who was our guest a couple of episodes back. He's a politician that's running for the 19th district in the House of Representatives, 19th Florida district. But like,
Could you see him being
offended by you have?
He'd
no
be like, "No, man! Like growing up, they'd always tell us to grow a set."
Yeah, grow a pair. He wouldn't be offended by that at all.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's actually illegal to say that to a man in Italy is like, man. I mean, how stereotypically Italian is that? I feel bad for that's not sexist at all.
I don't think so. That's an okay, Karen.
All right, Karen.
One of the guys.
One of the guys.
Yeah.
She's just one of the guys.
She's just one of the guys.
What's wrong with that?
I don't see anything wrong with that. And I was referred to that quite a bit, like myself, whenever I was growing up.
Well, I mean, you were a professional basketball player.
With the Detroit Chalk. But I didn't, that was with other women though. So where
That's
I
true.
encountered this was as I was playing.
Where you encountered the early sexism in your career?
In my early athletic career was when I played offensive and defensive right guard. I was a lineman on the football team.
Okay. So right tackle and right guard.
For anyone that's watching, like, I wish people that were listening could have just seen that face that you just gave me whenever I said
that face may have actually been sexist for a split second.
It totally was. I just want to say douche.
It's a good thing I don't care about the fucking NFL anymore, man.
No, what am I going to play in the NFL? No, but I was like, I have no problem.
I mean, if the NFL keeps going where they're going to go, there's going to be a lot of weird instances of.
But just one of the guys, like, I mean,
yeah, there's nothing sexist about it. But tell us why. Why do they think that's a sexist phrase?
In some cases, when a woman is called one of the guys, it's because she enjoys engaging in stereotypically masculine activities like participating in sports or playing video games.
Why do they call it stereotypically? I mean, those are actually video games is not a masculine thing, but playing football certainly is, right?
Well,
especially adults.
But see, here's the
it.
thing, though. I wanted to be a cheerleader, and I was told I was not allowed to be a cheerleader because my father did not like that.
Well,
and so I took it upon myself to be a smartass, and I said, okay, then I'll play football.
and your
he
dad
went
said,
and he
fine.
signed me. Fine. Yeah, exactly. He signed me up the next day.
Your dad is such a sexist.
And but honest to God, like in retrospect now, he's like, he sees me dancing and everything and how much joy it brings me. And he's like, I feel really bad. I should have let you be a cheerleader. And I'm like, no,
you might not have
like,
learned the same lessons.
I was like, I learned so much from it. So I don't take any offense to this being one of the guys.
So Jasmine Starr did play.
I did.
Honest to God football.
I did. I was the only girl on the team. And
so it wasn't powder puff. This was like legit football, tackle football with dudes.
Tackle football, yeah.
Yep.
And
you made boys cry.
I did. I remember our first full contact practice in pads. The coach actually said, and this would be probably like if you said this today, but I didn't care, because I was like, bring it on. Because I was just one of the guys. But the coach says, okay, who wants to hit the girl? Yeah.
Wow. Now that might be a little bit sexist.
Well, that's what he said. But at that point, like, I was built like a brick shit house. Like, sorry to say it like that, but I was like, I played at a time where like, girls were bigger. Like, I was in the team photo. I'm only 5'3", but at that point in my life, I was in the back row of the team photo. Mm-hmm. And they picked this like peewee kid to like be the one that got to hit the girl. And so they gave me the football.
I'm imagining him just bouncing off of you like
no.
his
So
death.
so there's like this little tiny dude, and they gave me the football, and I start running down the field with it, and he's like holding on for like all his might, and he's like, he's like slowly sliding down my legs and everything, and it had just rained. And I found like I swear to God, this is a true story. There was like a mud puddle, and I drug his ass right through the mud puddle as he was hanging on to one ankle. And like I'm doing like the toddler, like, you know, like where you're pulling a kid along. And
Looks like you weren't a toddler.
no, I was a 10-year-old girl.
Okay.
And after practice, his parents were like, everybody's like essentially clean except for this kid who has like, he had like grass and mud like caked in his face mask.
Hey, you know
he
what?
Was like,
at least he got an A for effort trying to tackle the girl.
And he was like,
And he didn't let go, did he?
and his parents were like, what happened to you? And he said, that big girl dragged me through the mud. So
Just one of the boys.
just one of the guys. So
All right. So is that a sexist phrase? Just one of the guys.
yeah, it's an okay Karen. Like
Okay, Karen.
this stuff doesn't. Ooh,
Oh, well, do we have one more? Okay, Karen.
I didn't see this one before. Oh, there's two good ones, but in recent times, the term friend zone has been used to shame women for turning down someone's romantic advances.
Yeah, but is that what friend zone actually means to you? It's a woman shame thing? Because I have never heard it used that way, ever. And I get it. I'm a guy, but I've never heard it used in that fashion. The friend zone.
No, like I mean, it is. I put people in the friend zone.
Yeah, but does that mean that you're being shamed when somebody says you put them in the friend zone?
Well,
And conversely, if I put somebody in the friend zone as a man, how is that even apply? Does that apply in reverse now? Am I being anti-male if I do that?
the phrase signifies a friendship in which one person has unrequited love or romantic feelings for the other. And although the term friend zone can apply to people of all genders, it has been commonly used to shame a woman for exercising her right to turn someone down
Not in this
and
life.
reject a friend's romantic advances.
I have never heard of it used that way, ever. I've never heard anybody belittling anybody for putting somebody in the friend zone, ever.
No.
Even if that, certainly never as a sexist.
No, not as a sexist thing. If anything, it's just somebody that's upset because they were friend zoned.
So we're going to punish the dipshit that wrote this. I hope her name is Karen. I'm going to have to go look this article up and find out if her name's really Karen or not.
Well, this one, Lonnie Sellinger
Let me see that.
wrote for Bustle.
Let me see it. Can I see the printout?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they're referencing another article.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is what I like to call meta journalism. They're basically summarizing a bunch of other journalists, which is something that Karens prefer to do.
Yeah.
And I would just like to cap it off by saying, okay, Karen, because we have to cut loose.
Mm-hmm.
A couple things we need to do, though, before we do. First of all, we're going to stay on the live stream for a couple minutes longer. So those of you that are listening on the podcast, check out our YouTube. We like to go a little bit longer on our YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And those of you that are watching the posted video version of this, next time stick around a little bit longer so you can check out the end of the live stream. In the meantime, contact us at Tipcast239 on Twitter, Trouble239 on Instagram, and if you'd like to email the show, Jasmine and I can be reached by email at trouble@trouble239.com. That's trouble@trouble239.com. Of course, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher. You can find us at Trouble in Paradise, and we look forward to seeing you there. Jasmine, is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off of the recording?
How do you turn that thing off?
All right. How do you turn that thing off? I'm going to try right here. Live streamers, stick around. We're not going anywhere. All right. So we're still live.
Yeah.
You got one more okay, Karen, for us that we can talk about?
I want to, for the people that are hanging around on the live stream, I kind of want to, talk about a couple maybe cool upcoming things that we have.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I can think of 3 of them.
I can too.
All right, go.
So tomorrow, we generally don't do our back to back. But we're going to have a special guest tomorrow.
Yes, we are. Our old friend, and by old, I don't mean like aged, but our old friend, Ronan James.
He's
who has
coming back.
Yeah, and he's appeared on 2 previous episodes of Trouble in Paradise.
Yeah, and for any of the ladies, he is very charismatic gentleman, and with a great smile and a lot of energy, and he's a lot of fun. So it's going to be
also any of the gay men. Any of the gay men. I think he's straight though, so he may not.
No, but you know, he has a great personality.
He's very diplomatic, turning people down though.
We had a great time with him. Maybe that's something we need to archive, is because we never shared.
That's true. We actually went to Jasmine's saying that we recorded a secret camera video.
We went out one night with him.
We went out one night and we went to the Viagra Triangle right before the stupid lockdown started.
Right. And
got tons of amazing hidden camera footage of.
Yeah. We did a little. What game was it really? It was we had like a point system where people could, you know, he had to Ronan had to approach.
He had to approach women.
Yeah.
And see if
he could buy them a drink, if he could get their phone numbers.
Yes.
And it was a contest of who could be the better wingman, if Nigel or myself could play the better wing.
Yeah, yeah.
And
so he got like a certain number of points for if he could get a girl's phone number, a certain number of points if he could buy them a drink.
So here's my idea for tomorrow.
Who could confront him with some of that video?
I think we don't even tell him tomorrow.
Ooh.
And just to a little surprise, welcome back. And
remember this?
Yeah.
He's going to be like, turn that shit off.
But I think it would be a little bit of fun.
He is very good natured.
And we met some great people, a lot of fun people that night.
Yeah, so some fun pictures from that night for sure.
Yeah. What else do we have coming up?
And we actually have a couple of interesting guests coming up in the next about 30 days. The first one is our good friend that we keep mentioning, comedian from Miami, Fort Lauderdale area by the name of Stacy Steele, who spends quite a bit of time in Naples and comes to Southwest Florida a couple times a month.
Yep.
She's going to actually be a third wheel. She's going to be our co-host for an episode upcoming.
Yes.
We hope that she brings Fiona.
I know. Well, of course she's going to bring Fiona.
Who's Fiona?
Fiona's the hedgehog.
Yes. So she has a pet. I guess it's her pet hedgehog, right?
Yeah,
that she
no,
pretty much
it's
takes everywhere with her.
Well, because they're burrowers, they like to be in she has these little sacks and everything, and she has a specific sack that is
purse.
Well, it's kept by a warm spot. And she'll talk about that's actually part of her stand-up. She talks about, how they like to be warm and exactly why the purse is positioned where it's at.
I see.
But she's so much fun.
She is, and she's done stand up at a couple of clubs here on the Gulf Coast as well as other places throughout Florida.
Right.
She has a YouTube channel and an Instagram.
Yep. She's a talented singer. She's
very funny.
She's done a few independent films.
FU independent films. FU. And I know what you said. And then we also have an interesting character by the name of Steve DeShavi, who is a television personality who hosts some paranormal investigation kind of television shows.
Come on. If anybody knows that name, they know that he is the host or one of the co-hosts of the Dead Files on the Travel Channel. They are currently filming episode 13 right now.
Season 13, yep.
Yep, sorry.
And he's going to take a break from filming in a couple of weeks, and he and his friend Ray are going to come be our third and fourth wheel, which should be very entertaining. I'm told that I'm going to need a bottle of bourbon, at least one bottle of bourbon.
You'll need a bottle of bourbon for that episode.
And we don't know how to make the studio big enough to accommodate 4 people, but we're going to try.
Yep, we'll work it out. But the two of them, they both are retired New York City police officers,
which is a whole nother angle.
And
yeah.
Just
am I allowed to say loudmouth New Yorkers around them?
Oh my God, they'll tell you to go fuck yourself. You'll love it.
That's so New Yorky.
Yeah, no, they will. But it's that should be a lot of fun.
I think so.
Because I've already kind of told them we're gonna do our typical Florida man, and so it'll be really interesting to get their takes from their perspectives, especially with their backgrounds.
Yeah, they're both law enforcement people.
And they have like the best sense of humor. So that should be another funny episode that people are not going to want to miss.
So everybody stay tuned. Trouble in Paradise. You know how to find us. If you're still watching the live stream, then you are a true blue fan, and we really do appreciate it. Please go on to our podcast and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, on Stitcher. We would love to grow this thing. We do it because we enjoy you so very much. And that's pretty much it. So that's going to wrap up our live stream today. And we will see you on the flip side. Everybody take care and be well. And stay out of trouble.